Hello. You push the button that says, who is Millard Kwon Design? And who we are we like to think of ourselves as the best salon design company in the United States right now. And we are the only salon design company endorsed by the Professional Product Division of L'Oreal. That's a huge endorsement. And it's based really on two things. One, of course, we design beautiful salons. That's a given. But most importantly, we've designed financially successful salons, which is what got the attention of L'Oreal. Our salons, on average, double their sales after a renovation in 2 to 4 years. One salon took 6 years. And why does that happen? It happens because we're highly focused on creating successful retail spaces, highly functional salons, and creating a really professional environment. And what do we mean by a professional environment? It's a stage. It's a stage that sets you out in front of your guests who walk through the door as someone who knows what they're doing and is at the top of their game. I'm Peter Millard, and I am the person who handles client liaison. I'm the person you'll speak to initially, and I will explain the process of how we design and how we work with our clients to create your vision of your dream salon. Why do I do that, and why do I approach things that way? My background started out in retail, and that began with my designing Barney's. And my area Barney's, as compared to the other 5 junior designers, the sales doubled in the areas that I designed, and I didn't know why. And it really, I believe, was because my father was in advertising, and I had a respect and an understanding for the shopping experience and for the importance of getting results from design, results being financial. So I began designing really for luxury fashion designers. The designs that I worked on, my job was to look at the fashion that Ralph Lauren had designed and then translate that into what a fragrance counter should look like in a department store. And so I began doing that, and it was so successful that it went from brand to brand to brand to brand, from client to client to client. And in working with those very talented, wonderful designers, I learned most of all to kind of look at what they did and listen to what they had to say. And so when we design for you, and we really try to pull out from you what your vision, what your style, what your particular point of view is. It's a whole process in terms of designing a salon, because there's a million questions that the client has. And how do you get it filed? How do you work with a local architect to get the plans done? What is your square footage? A lot of times we're involved in the decision of how large a space should you take. What should you be getting out of your landlord? What should you be asking from them? We try to maximize that, because the more you get from your landlord, the more budget we have to spend on you for the design. So we work with you during the initial stages. Before we had this health crisis, I would go to the salons and look at them in person. But we can work a lot with photographs and with floor plans at this point. And that's the way I worked globally with Armani or with Ralph Lauren or Yves Saint Laurent. So you're not losing anything by my not being present in the space. And hopefully we will be able to do that more in the future. We love to talk to you and listen to you, and we go over what we call your wish list, and we find out what it is you want, and then we work back and forth with you on the floor plan. Tess is involved in that part of the process, particularly. And so we work out a floor plan that works for you, gets you all of the things that you want for your salon. And we really learn a lot about you and how do you work. Each salon has developed its own culture, we find. So what one person wants in Colorado is very different than a salon that's developed in Florida. They're two different people with different tastes and different clientele. Your clientele reflects you in a lot of ways. They're like your friends. And so they're drawn to you and to your style. And what we try to do is take your style and emphasize it and communicate it with the environment and the stage set that you're working in. So a client walks into your space and they know who you are.
Hi, I'm Tess. I am a member of the Millard Kwon design team. And growing up with Peter as my father, and my mother's also a designer, design was always a part of my life and the way that I understood the world. I think that Peter gave me, he really introduced me to luxury. He loved to take me shopping, and he's definitely a very generous person who gave me an appreciation of luxury and indulgence. And I remember growing up walking with him down Madison Avenue looking in designer stores. But my mom is a child of Detroit, and she is a genius at figuring out how to get great style, but for less. And so I grew up, while I would be window shopping and going into designer stores with my dad, when I would be with my mom, we would be looking at scouring street vendors and looking for, $5 sunglasses that looked just right. And I think that the two of them, growing up with the two of them, really made me understand that luxury design was something that was very incredible and something to be inspired by, but that also a sense of style doesn't necessarily have a price tag attached to it. And that's something that is a big part of my belief system in terms of when I approach a salon design. I think that style and taste doesn't cost money, that you can execute a gorgeous salon design at any price point. And that's really, I think, one of the key roles that I play at Millard Kwon Design is I'm the person who, I look at the floor plan and figure out how to lay out the space, and I work very closely with both the client and with Peter to make sure that the space is functioning properly. But I feel that it's really important for the guest experience to be one that rolls out and is a real journey as they walk through the space. I think that the first impression needs to be one of, needs to be glamorous and dramatic, and one of a great retail experience. I really love to tell a story as you're going through a floor plan of first the guest enters the retail area and what's their experience, their shopping experience. And then what are the surprises that they have when they move into the styling station area? And then an unexpected and very luxurious and relaxing shampoo room. I think that the best kinds of designs are ones that have surprises tucked in throughout, so that the guest has those incredible aha moments as they walk into a room of like, oh my God, this is such an unexpected piece of artwork or an unexpected wallpaper. I think that creates a really rich guest experience. And I like to start thinking about that at the very beginning when we're figuring out the floor plan. I think of it almost like a treasure hunt map of what is the guest going to be experiencing as they move through the space. And then once I finalize the floor plan, as soon as the client signs off on that, then I'll move into the design presentation portion. And with that's a lot of fun also. We get inspiration photos from our clients. So either through Pinterest, or some clients like to sit down with a stack of magazines and go through. And we really encourage clients to not look at salon design, but instead to look at fashion, jewelry, landscapes, anything that attracts them where they feel some sort of a connection to the photo, anything that makes them feel good. If they pull it out and send it to me, Then when I'm going through those images, I'm able to get a sense of this person's taste and style. I really don't feel like I have my own personal aesthetic that I put onto the designs. I think that I have a pretty good gift of appreciating all sorts of designs. I love feminine spaces. I love traditionally masculine industrial spaces. I love old wooden libraries. I think I can find the beauty in all sorts of environments. And so what I really do is I look for the client to inspire me. And I think the thing that if you did have to dial in on what is my style and what do I bring to a design, I would say that I love to bring drama and glamour to a space. I love simplicity, and I think that there's something to be said for minimalism, but I think that there still can be a grandeur to a space. I really like to look at a space and think, how can we make this an, oh my God, over the top, dramatic experience? I think the style I'm very fluid with, but I always want there to be an evolution to the design as you go through the space, and I want there to be great drama to it and interest to it. I think that that's really what I bring to the team and that's part of my sensibility.
Hi, I'm Susan Kwon of Millard Kwon Design. You've just heard Peter and Tess speak about the process of creating a vision and design for a salon. My focus is taking that vision and translating it into plans for the construction team to transform the space. The process of building a salon can be complex. It is almost like an orchestra with many different performers that play their specific parts to create the beautiful music. You need a strong and experienced conductor to bring out the best of each individual part. A salon build-out can be a similar challenge with many trades that need to come together. I play the role of the conductor for my clients, working with the general contractors, mechanical and structural engineers, and electrical and plumbing professionals. In addition, when Tess finishes the design presentation and is approved by the client, I work closely with the client to figure out details of each element. Given my 20 years of experience in design and construction, I work with our clients to ask the critical questions that are needed to flesh out the design and to make it come alive. It can be anything from how the stylist works at their workstation to how the client would like their color lab to function. These are just a few of the many details that get worked out in the process. From here, I take the design and interpret it into working drawings. The general contractor and other trades use my drawings to build out the space. Many people don't think of building plans to be glamorous, but for me, it is the most exciting part of the process because it is at this stage that the concepts become a reality. If I were to get into a little bit of my background, I am an architect by trade. I studied at Pratt Institute and received my master's from Columbia University. I am a licensed architect, and I'm also a LEED accredited professional in building design and construction. Prior to working with Millard Kwon Design, I worked as an architect building some of the most beautiful, luxurious condos across the New York City skyline. From this experience, I learned how beautiful spaces can be functional and still create a luxurious experience for the owner. As an architect, I felt an incredible sense of pride seeing these beautiful buildings being built based on my work. And now, I feel the same sense of pride with Millard Kwon Design with each salon that we build with our clients.
If you're asking yourself whether you can afford us, you can. We charge the same as a local designer would charge, which is approximately 10% of your budget. We actually like doing small jobs as well as large jobs. We think of small salons as being jewel boxes, and some of our most beautiful designs have been for small salons on very limited budgets. So you need to think out what your budget would be, what you can live with, and we will work within that budget or try to. If we don't think your budget is realistic, it's better for us to tell you that than for you to go down the path of and not being aware of what you're getting into. So we try to be very realistic. We do large jobs, we do medium jobs, and we do very small jobs. And none of them are our favorites. We don't give more attention to the big jobs than we do the small jobs. We also do consultations. I mean, you can send us a floor plan and we can advise you as to whether it works or it doesn't work. And you can pay for that with vouchers from your level program. Also, you can pay for our design fees with level vouchers. We've also helped with the, Small Business Association loans. We work around your financial circumstances, and that's part of what I do. I'm not, which is kind of ironic because I'm really not a numbers guy, but we can really work with you. And